Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh?
It's the house!
We were all Richard Allen!
You pieces of shit got to the jury, didn't you?
Hey, what's going on, freaks? Maybe more like that. I don't know. Hey, thanks, Moofies and Vicky White. Alright, welcome to Moofies. Lisa, Paulette, Uniquely Susie, Alley Cake, DM. Yeah, there's more people. There's 95 people so far, so that's obviously there's more names than that. Vicky White, Who's Your Mama, etc. Must be from Indiana. So to start off the this portion, we're starting off with the Delphi case. There's a missing. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. There was a missing person case, a college student. They found her body kind of along this highway, but there isn't really a lot of information yet. So maybe I'll try to gather some stuff and put a video. We don't know the circumstances either, but it's in Colorado. So I'll probably just maybe I'll try to make a video on it, but unfortunately nobody watches those. But I'll try to do one and see how it goes. You never know. Maybe people are interested in different things from time to time. But there was, this kind of this disturbing information that's come out in the Delphi case, unrelated to the topic of today. Is there's a guy named we went by the Captain, on YouTube, and I think it was yesterday or the night before yesterday. I can't remember exactly when, but I heard that it was a really strange story. Like, he was involved in he killed it wasn't really his wife, but they were sort of like married, 20 years together. He killed her and then he killed himself. And I knew this guy. Like, I actually had talked to him on the phone a couple times. And there's people that know him a hell of a lot better than I did. And, there's a guy named, Hoosier Cold Case, who obviously is friends with him. And, maybe he should sort of look at what happens when you try to destroy somebody's life and maybe apply that to your own life when you're out there trashing, other people, trying to get their livelihood and so forth taken down. You might want to look at that. But, he explained the situation regarding, and I'd heard about it. I actually guessed at it. When I heard what happened, I guessed at it. The captain, he always said, the Captain Howdy. Yeah. No, the Captain Howdy. People just called him Captain. Anyways, he made videos on Delphi for a long time, and we communicated for years, just on Facebook. And he had talked about how he and his wife, they tried to have kids. He sent me, he was so excited when she was pregnant, and then she didn't have the baby. She lost the baby, and then seems like not tremendously long after that, she was pregnant again, and finally they had the baby. And then he worked from home, and he really, let's see, like he just really, I mean, he really cared about this child, like that's what he was just so happy that they finally were able to have a baby. And then it turns out that, one day he's staying at home and everything, working, and then, according to Hoosier Cold Cases, he, she comes home wearing her normal clothes when she should have been working, and then he questioned her at where she'd been. He thought maybe she was cheating on him, and then he wanted to see her phone, and she wouldn't let him see the phone, and then he, I don't know what happened, like he got kicked out of the house, and then she claimed that he was doing, hitting her and stuff like that, and then he wouldn't let her see the kid. She wouldn't let him see the child, and then what was the other? Oh yeah, and then there's this, like, she's dating these other people, and one of the guys that was dating her said that the child was his, the one that he was so excited to have. And so then I guess he went over to her place at work to talk about something else, maybe. I don't know. He had a gun with him, obviously. So then he ends up shooting her, and then he shot himself on the way out in the parking lot. I mean, it's absolutely crazy as hell, but I don't know how to, this is one of those things, like, sometimes you push a person to the edge of their limits. Like, if you destroy their entire life, that stuff happens, It's not like that's the choice you should make, but it doesn't make me go, oh, what a monster. It makes me think, she was a monster too. Like, you just wiped out somebody's entire life, the child he cared about, the one that he wanted to be with, etc., and you're cheating on him. I mean, my God, I don't even know what to make of it. So, where I don't agree with that's your option. Sometimes that's the option, the only option somebody thinks they have, because they are just devastated in a horrible place. But he was just always a nice person to me. He was always trying to figure out, like, where I was and the how I was doing, because he knows about all the trolls, and it's just, that's a crazy story. He's like the last person you would think that would happen. So it makes you kind of wonder, geez, that could almost happen to anybody. Somebody just snaps, right? So there you go. Pretty crazy story. Hey, thanks, Richard Watts. So that's just kind of how I was, kind of a downer start, but I wanted to bring that up. I feel bad for all the people that were really good friends with him, and there's a lot of different, group of YouTubers from Indiana that covered the Delphi case that they were all close and talked all the time, etc. I would just consider that he was a friend of mine. We weren't like all the texting every day or anything like that. Just sometimes a month or two would go by, a week. In some occasions we were talking more, but pretty crazy. All right, man, the Delphi case is just I don't know what you call it. It just seems like this evil thing. It's just so many people have died from it. I mean, that's like the third or fourth YouTuber in the Delphi case that's died. I mean, what do you guys make of that? That's just ludicrous. Hey, well, I thought it would seem like smooth water, Pigar. I would have thought the wave was like smooth water because it died. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not, he's the one I knew the best out of all the ones that have passed away. But, geez, Just absolutely crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Anyways, let's go to the... this is from today, the new document. I just want to read the first part again, because that's kind of where everything is. They talk about how... I mean, the gist of it is that the defense is claiming that the prosecution has had this, quote, exculpatory double hearsay information for, for a long time. They just never gave it to the defense team. And, they're using Ricky Davis, the bastion of credibility, to sell this story. All right. Let's see. Did you guys watch my video from earlier today? Any of you guys? Yeah, he's framed by Odinus. I have Kohberger on there because I'm gonna talk about it later. It's just crazy. There's this surveillance video out there, and I'll just talk about that later. It's just it's weird stuff to me. Alright, so on here it says, Richard Allen, by counsel, now comes before the court with the verified motion and moves this court to order the state of Indiana to preserve certain specific evidence and to produce that evidence to the defense. So really it's just sort of starts down here. But interestingly, it was just 5 days ago where Andrew Baldwin interviewed this Ricky Davis guy. Again, the bastion of credibility in the criminal world. I mean, he is the guy that you would go to if you really wanted a good piece of solid information. He's the one to go to, even though he passed a lie detector test, or failed a lie detector test when he was being interviewed about Ron Logan the first time. Okay. Says Ricky Davis, was in the unique position of having met both Kegan Kline and Ron Logan now. So now they can use Ricky Davis, this, I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was some sort of monetary considerations with Ricky Davis to somehow do this connection. It makes no sense at all. Do you guys remember the memorandum in support of the Franks hearing? Do you guys know that? Yeah, that's what I agree with. I think it's insane, Zozo, what they were doing, what happened in that case, and it doesn't shock me at all, Anyways, talking about this now, you guys remember the memorandum in support of the Franks hearing? It was like 100 and something pages long. Do you guys remember that? You know what's amazing about that document? That not one time in the entire document did it have any substance about Kegan Kline or Ron Logan. In fact, it was over 100 pages regarding Odinus and how, oh my God, Click and Ferenczi, and they're just heroes for everybody. And it was all this stuff about Odinism, and it just went on and on. I mean, it went on to the point of nauseum. I mean, ad nauseum, as they say. It was ludicrous. And now where is it today, everybody? Where is the Odinist contingent? All these people that would berate you if you didn't believe in their Odinist bullshit. And now, we all believe it's now Kegan Kline and Ron Logan, everybody, because we couldn't find the nexus in the Odinist people, even though we made an entire document about it. But now we're going to say that it's Kegan Kline and Ronnie Logan. Yeah! Come on down! This is just so ludicrous. Baldwin should be ashamed of himself. He's just an embarrassment to mankind, not only to the legal profession, but he thinks he's a genius coming up with all these little... I mean, look, you're interviewing a guy named Ricky Davis who's a criminal who claims that he talked to Ron Logan, a guy that's dead, and then he also claims he talked to Kegan Kline, and they're all buddies. And somehow Ron Logan and Kegan Kline both told Ricky Davis that they killed the girls, boy. Man, isn't that amazing? That Ron Logan, while he's in prison in 2017, after being put back in there, that he confessed to the killings, and yet it never made it to anybody, even though he was somebody that they investigated early on and thought maybe was involved somehow, and somehow he confessed to Ricky Davis, and that never makes it. And they said, screw it, man, let's let that guy go. And then years later, they pin it on some lackey named Richard Allen. Does that make sense to anybody? And the answer is no, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. But hey, guys, we're on a new day now, so if you're out there and you can help support the channel, like Richard Watts, Pigar, Vicky White, and Moofies have done, that would be great. My channel relies on your guys' generosity to keep us going, and trying to make up for this month. For the beginning, the first 10 or 12 days was just, it was startling almost in here. So I've done better the last 5 or 6 days, so hopefully we can keep on moving forward and be able to give away some money at the end of the month, because my channel actually gives away a large portion of the income each month. And I'm sure everybody watching knows that, because there's only 197 people here, so likely you're the ones that watch the channel on a regular basis. Hey, thanks Denise Miller and Alley Cake, as in I'll eat cake. All right. So right here it says, Ricky Davis, was in the unique position of having met both Kegan Kline and Ron Logan during their stays at Newcastle Correctional Facility. Where did Richard Allen get moved to? Isn't that where he got moved to? He just got moved. I can't remember now where he got moved to. Ricky Davis, talked with Ron Logan about the Delphi murders in multiple occasions. Over the course of time, Logan confessed to his involvement in the murders along with 2 people. Hold on a second. All right. That was my dad. He's in Pendleton? Okay, so it's a different one. All right. Ricky Davis, talked with Ron Logan about the Delphi murders on multiple occasions. Over the course of time, Logan confessed to his involvement in the murders along with 2 other people. During those conversations, Logan provided certain details of the crime that only the actual killer would know. Probably talking about the box cutter. But remember how, I don't know. The whole box cutter thing is weird to me, because, Richard Allen mentioned the box cutter, and he said he threw it in the garbage can. And then apparently he mentioned it, but I also saw somebody just randomly guess at a box cutter in a 2019 article on it. So, I don't know. I don't know what the box cutter means, but the other information, I don't see it matching at all, because remember in the previous documents they said that Ron Logan took the girls down the hill and then had the girls, let's see, he said, hey, you want to go see my horses and rabbits? And Abby was like, yeah, that'd be great, but what we don't, what's not mentioned is right before that, Abby was like, don't leave me up here, Libby. He's got a gun. So just minutes later, she wants to go see bunnies and a horse. See, that doesn't make any sense, everybody. Just use common sense and logic. This is stupid. Can we... Why are we still just keep talking about the thing over and over again? Let's see. Box cutters must be big in Indiana. Maybe. Let's see. I don't know. It's weird. Tonight there doesn't seem to be... There's not a lot of people in here. Yeah, must not be getting the notifications out yet again. You know how it goes. During those conversations, Logan provided certain details of the crime that only the actual killer would know, but never divulged who the other two people involved in the murders were. In or around March 2024, Kegan Kline was placed in the same general area as Ricky Davis, and at some point apparently learned that Ricky Davis had talked to Ron Logan. So Kegan Kline's in there and he's like, somehow he finds out, hey, I heard you talk to Ron Logan, man. While Logan was incarcerated in Newcastle. Then over time, Kline began questioning Ricky Davis as to Ricky Davis' conversations with Ron Logan. So after a while, he's like, hey, heard you talk to him, and he wanted to know whether or not Logan had ever mentioned his name to Ricky Davis during those conversations. Now, Ricky Davis began to realize, because he was asking that Kline may have been one of the other members of the crew that Logan described as being involved in the murders. And then over time, Kegan Kline began to reveal information about the Delphi murders that corroborated details Ron Logan had revealed. Where? See, where is that information? Where is it? I mean, so here's what sucks, is so stupid about this, is it's Ricky Davis. And Ricky Davis can be, say something like, oh, and he said they used a box cutter? Yeah. And then when you ask Kegan Kline, he's going to say, I never said that. You see how stupid this is, you guys? Two ridiculously horrendous criminals in prison, and then they're gonna use the word of Ricky Davis, and it's gonna be like, yeah, he said that he had the girls walk down. He also mentioned something about animals, looking at animals and a rabbit. Oh, and he talked about it. They used a box cutter, and oh wow. And then when you ask Kegan Kline if he said that, he'd say, I didn't say that. So then where does it go from there? It's insane. If it's not recorded or anything. Yeah, and then he apparently says that he was recorded a long time ago. Hello? Anybody there? It's like talking to a brick wall tonight again. See, if we switch topics to something other than what everybody's interested in, it gets really slow. Really, really, really slow. It's wild. Hey, thanks, Cheryl Bullock. This whole document reads like a fairy tale. Says, over time, Kegan Kline began to reveal information about the Delphi murders that corroborated details Ron Logan had revealed to Ricky Davis several years earlier. Some of the details Kegan Kline provided to Ricky Davis are the types of details that could only be known by someone involved in the killings. These conversations between Ricky Davis and Kegan Kline occurred all the way up until the guilty verdict. Man, they were just yapping away. Yeah, laughing, probably. Oh, my God. I did it, but look at that. Richard Allen's on trial. At which time, Kegan Kline expressed relief. He was like, phew, because I'm no longer a viable suspect in the murder because Richard Allen's now been convicted. Woo! Dodged a bullet there, everybody. And then it says, not knowing whether Richard Allen could be the third person involved in the murders, Ricky Davis asked Kegan Kline whether Mr. Allen was the third person. So I think up here, didn't it say? Let's see. I think it's right here, right? No. 3 men was one of the... Okay, I don't know. I thought I saw it at the beginning, but I didn't see it this time. Met with Ricky. I don't know where that is now. So apparently, Ron Logan or Kegan or somebody mentioned that there was 3 people involved. And that's when I thought, whoa, that's probably, no, that could be Richard Allen then. But then he said, well, it's definitely not, it wasn't him. So it says 3 conversations between Ricky Davis and Kegan Kline occurred all the way up, or these conversations occurred all the way up until the verdict. Not knowing whether Richard Allen could be the 3rd person involved in the murders, Ricky Davis asked Kegan Kline whether Mr. Allen was that 3rd person involved in the murders. Kline replied that Richard Allen was not the 3rd person and had nothing to do with it. Alright, so all of a sudden it's, he's literally saying, nope, he had nothing to do with it. Except the only problem with that is Richard Allen is 100% bridge guy, everybody. There is no out for him, and he's confessed to the crime multiple times, calmly and rationally. Okay? So he's there. So I think all of this stuff right now is just complete garbage. You just got to ask yourself, do you guys remember all the way up until just recently how the defense team has just been pumping the Odinist story over and over and over again, and all of a sudden, just miraculously, it's these other 2 people? I mean, God, give me a break, man. Kegan Kline further revealed to Ricky Davis that Kline and Logan knew each other through the sharing of child pornography that they shared on burner phones, and that further, see, this is stuff that we've talked about for years right here. So, I mean, if he has access to anything like that, videos or anything in prison, he would be able to see this. This is like, everybody said this. What are you talking about? I'd love to chat. What are you talking about? Well then, who is it? Kegan Kline further revealed to Ricky Davis that he, Kline, and, he, meaning Kline, and Logan knew each other through the sharing of child pornography that they shared on burner phones, and that further, they would see each other every 3 to 6 months so that Kline could assist Logan with using the burner phones because Logan was inept working with electronic devices. But why would he need to see him every 3 to 6 months to, once you show him how to get on to your little Dropbox or whatever, you wouldn't need to assist him. I mean, it's sort of a weird thing to throw in there. Almost like you just, okay, we want you to know that 3 to 6 months so that Kline could assist Logan in using burner phones because Logan was inept. But you've already showed him how to use it, a burner phone. So why would he need to go the next time? And then how did he contact you to, when he got the burner phone? So I guess, the whole burner phone thing in here, you know why that's put in there? So that law enforcement can't look back, and there's a reason why there's no conversations between Kegan Kline and Ron Logan, because you want to claim it was all done on burner phones, and therefore law enforcement can't disprove what you're saying. The classic move of a conspiracy nutter. That's what they do. You can't argue with them because what they're saying is something you can't argue back at. So right here they're introducing, well, Ron Logan was using burner phones. I had to show him how to use it and so forth, and so then you'd ask, well, how did they communicate with each other? Well, he used his burner phone to communicate. That's why it doesn't show up in the records, and that's just classic. Ricky Davis further explained that once Kegan Kline began revealing his role in the murders, sometime in the summer and fall of 2024, before Mr. Allen's October trial, he began sending letters to Nick McClellan providing many of the details of his conversations with Kegan Kline in 2024 and Ron Logan in 2017. So let's see. Let's just read that again. Ricky Davis further explained that once Kegan Kline began revealing his role in the murders, sometime in the summer and fall of 2024, before Mr. Allen's October trial, he began sending letters to Nick McClellan. Wow, there's, what's amazing in this case, you guys? There's all of these do-gooders out there that are, once law enforcement made their arrest, they're like, hold up, man. It's not them. Just like so in this case, Ricky Davis starts sending letters. Oh my God, look what I'm hearing in here. And then remember one of, I think it was Click or Ferenczi, whatever, said like, hey, what about our research? Did you see this? And all of that garbage is what the defense team is utilizing right now. These people that are trying to do good. So is it the Odinist or is it Ron Logan and Kegan Kline? And I've never seen any horns on any of the photographs that Kegan Kline took, or any weird branches placed in a crazy angle. So what is it, defense team? Yeah, it's crazy, right? Kim Worth said, I came across this channel from Gray's amazing analysis of the Delphi murders. I can't understand why anyone thought Richard Allen was innocent. Yeah. Is it when was the letter written, Zoza? And where'd you get it? Reddit? Let's see. Thanks, Allie Cake. Oh, it's on a Fox 59. Right. Oh, is this a new letter or what? What is this? Ah, jeez. Is this something from like right now? I guess we could try to read this later. Let me save it. Thanks. No, it looks like Fox 59. I'm just going to save it and we'll try to read this, see what happened. That's okay. I don't need the news link. I'll try to. Looks like it's better writing in this one. This looks like really clear writing comparatively. But when did it come out? I guess is what I'm looking at. All right, we'll take a look at that. But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you can please help support the channel. We got a slow start tonight, so if you have the ability to help the channel, we have 0 coffees currently. If you can use the super chats, etc. We're going to go through the top portion of this again, read that letter, and do some discussion, see what people think. And by the way, let me just tell you this right now. Like, Rick Snay's out there trying to pretend that he was buddies with the Captain Howdy, and it just isn't reality at all. Yeah, it's amazing, these people, just be honest with it. Like, there's guys that have passed away I didn't really know, and I'll say, yeah, I didn't really know him very well. In fact, we argued all the time, but I feel bad for. But these people always have to pretend that they were closer and more friendly with somebody to make people think differently about them. And it's really weird. Strange stuff. Let's see. So it's from 2 days ago? Okay. Well, let's just see what it says, I guess, later. But I guess, let's see. Frank Meister, I just heard before I came on here that he interviewed, like, the wife or ex-girlfriend or somebody related to Ricky Davis. So I guess I should probably listen to that, because apparently in there it's like this big hoax thing. Like, they just did it to for something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to listen to it. I mean, that's pretty amazing if that's really what happened. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing about, no, he wouldn't, though, uniquely, Susie. See, Richard Allen would not have told that anybody else was involved because he was trying to get acquitted. If he said he knew that there was somebody else involved because he was there, then he'd still be charged with the crime and he'd be found guilty immediately. There'd be no... I mean, he would just have to plead guilty and he'd get the same sentence that he got. You know, he might have been able to cut a deal, but he was trying to get off. So if there is anybody, it's now would be a time where maybe he could say something and get a little bit better treatment or something in prison or, you know, whatever. I don't know, but... You know, I think it'd be dumb of him to have said, unless he was going to plead guilty and he was cutting a deal prior because the evidence was so overwhelming. Richard Allen's attorneys, though, they wouldn't let him do that. You know, they wanted to go to trial really, really badly. And so they wouldn't do they thought they could just get him off. And by the way, now that you think back at trial, wasn't it one of the worst defenses you've ever seen in your life? You know, it's just insane. I'm gonna get rid of this. There's a troll in here. They're not really commenting on anything related. Alright, let's see. No one else was seen on the bridge, only bridge guy. Right, well, I mean Richard Allen, you mean. Yeah. Right, so he didn't, and Richard Allen didn't say that he saw Kegan, Kline, and, Ron Logan down below. When he walked to the other side, he goes, hey guys. And then they walked down, but he went the other direction, right? And then he didn't see them meet up with Kegan, Kline, and Ron Logan down there. Now, the judge was great. The judge actually was trying to protect the girls and not let the photographs get out there. And apparently the defense team would have none of it and made sure that those photographs got put out there. And she removed those two attorneys because they were scumbags. And they continue to be today. They can't accept that they lost. They got creamed. Okay, it wasn't even close. And because they're terrible. And everybody knows it, but now they're trying to, this new theory they're coming up with. It was Odinus. Oh, wait, that's not working. Hey, it's Ron Logan and Kegan Kline, everybody. All right. Still have no coffees, everybody. We're still at no coffees. Let's see if we can get some in here. I'm typing it in right now. There we go. Ricky Davis further explained that once Kegan Kline began revealing his role in the murders sometime in the summer and fall of 2024 before Mr. Allen's October trial, he began sending letters to Nick McClelland providing many of the details of his conversations with Kegan Kline. Ricky Davis indicated that he believes he sent as many as 8 letters to McClelland's office and presumed that McClelland was sharing the contents of those letters. Do you really think Ricky Davis was doing that? He was sitting around going, okay, I'm sending these to McClelland, and I'm just really hoping he's sharing these letters with the defense team. Why didn't he just send the letters to the defense team? Right? But somehow he sends them to McClelland, and they don't show up, so somehow now the defense can say, see, they didn't share it with us. They probably hid the information. Ricky Davis further explained, okay, I mean, that part, began sending letters to McClelland. All right. So he's claiming he sent like as many as 8 letters to McClelland, and then he just assumed that he was giving them to the defense team. But why not, like, send 2 letters, or but instead it goes to the prosecution side, and he just assumed that he would give it to the defense team. It seems like it's almost a setup in the way it's being worded here so that they can claim they didn't show up. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this guy didn't send one damn letter at all, but he's saying it there, and now they're mysteriously gone, and it feeds into the narrative that the defense team is giving the public, especially the pro-Richard Allen nutjobs out there, who believe all the stuff the defense team says. Well, Gray, you believe everything the prosecution says. Well, the prosecution, what they say matches what Richard Allen himself says. Okay? All right. Ricky Davis indicated that he believes he sent as many as 8. Attorney Baldwin met with Ricky Davis on March 27th, so about a year ago, and learned very limited information from Ricky Davis. So now there's a reason why. See, this is just all self-serving. Look at this. Ricky Davis was who encouraged Baldwin to watch a video interview law enforcement conducted of him years earlier. At their February 12th, 2025 meeting, so just 5 days ago, Ricky Davis further admitted that when attorney Baldwin met with Ricky Davis on March 27th, a year ago, that he did not provide all the details that he knew at the time to attorney Baldwin for 2 reasons. One, he had not yet heard of the many details that Kegan Kline ultimately provided him, including that Kegan Kline was involved in the crime and that he knew Ron Logan. And 2, at the time he met with attorney Baldwin in 2024, he could not be sure whether Richard Allen was one of the other 2 people that Ron Logan described as also being involved in the murders. Right. So see how there's an explanation as to why Ricky Davis didn't come forward with more information. You know, particularly all the stuff that Ron Logan had told him years ago that made it into those last set of documents. So isn't that just suspicious in itself? But now there's we need to come up with reasons why he didn't tell us. So now, here we go. Here we got him now. Mr. Davis stated that he was guarded during their March 27, 2024 meeting with Baldwin because he did not necessarily want to assist Richard Allen's defense counsel if Richard Allen was one of the 3 men that Ron Logan stated was involved in the murders. So he didn't want to help the defense if Richard Allen was one of the people. Okay, so he had to wait until finally Kegan Kline shows up, and now he gives him information that, and Kegan Kline says, no, Richard Allen wasn't one of those he wasn't the 3rd person. Again, in his March 27, 24 meeting with Baldwin, Ricky Davis told Baldwin that he could learn the details of what Ricky Davis told law enforcement by watching his videotaped interview that law enforcement should have in their possession. So now here's the setup. Well, you should just go watch my interview I did with them years ago. And it wouldn't be surprising at all if, maybe there is an interview. And you know what? Some of that information that was in that rebuttal document that McClellan put out, I'm wondering if they took some of the stuff out of that interview. But apparently, maybe the defense doesn't have that interview. So, I mean, there's stuff like that, you want to give information to the defense team, but maybe they just had this and they were like, okay, but this isn't, it's double hearsay, it's a dead person. I don't know if you're supposed to turn over that kind of stuff, if it's just like random, like every single tip that's turned in. I don't know. I don't know what I gotta tell you though, like 90% of the time when we hear all this stuff like that, there's always an explanation, and then it turns out where it's just another douchebag move by the defense team. But hey guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel tonight. Looks like we're having one of those struggling nights again, so if you have the ability to, that would be fantastic. Again, this channel relies on you guys to make the goals and get to a situation where at the end of the month we're able to support our scholarship fund, DNA fund. We've put $230,000 in 5 years into these funds, and it really just relies on you guys. And when it doesn't happen, we can't do that. All right. So tonight's slow, so if you're out there and you have the ability to, I would appreciate it. Following his March 27, 2024 visit with Ricky Davis the next day at 11:49, Attorney Baldwin emailed Nick McClellan, this is a year ago, and Stacy Diener requesting they turn over law enforcement videotaped interview of Ricky Davis, in which Davis presumably provided the details of Ron Logan's confession on videotape. To date, the prosecution has never provided any videotaped Ricky Davis interview. But why didn't they bring this up before? How come they're just now thinking of it again? Wouldn't you have brought it up before that 3-day hearing where you were trying to have third-party possibilities? Wouldn't you have made damn sure that the judge forced them to give you, this, quote, videotape, if it even exists, Right, it's all incredibly convenient. Looks like it's almost scripted. The approximate 8 letters Ricky Davis claims he sent to McClellan in the months leading up to October 2024 trial would contain multiple layers of exculpatory evidence which the defense could have used to further its investigation as to whether certain facts contained in those letters could be verified. But don't you think law enforcement had done that? That they already went out and checked to see? Because why wouldn't they want to pin this on Ron Logan, you guys? Wouldn't it just be so easy to do? If this was all true and you believed it all and you could somehow create this, look at this. He mentioned box cutters, it's consistent with, it just kind of closed the case, we believe it was Ron Logan and we're officially closing the case and here's why, and come up with, bring up how he lied and these different things, and now he even confessed to Ricky Davis, and look, he brought up box cutters. It would be so simple for them to just close the case and have pinned it on Ron Logan just using Ricky Davis, and people would be like, okay, sounds good, let's call it a day. The only problem is Ron Logan didn't answer any of the questions law enforcement had. And I don't mean like physically answer. I mean, they wanted to know who the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building. They wanted to know who the person was that the 4 girls saw when they were walking on the trails. They wanted to know who the person that Betsy Blair saw was. They wanted to know who the person was in Libby's video. And the person who that was Richard Allen. He actually answered every one of those questions that they had. And he is bridge guy before he even says down the hill. That is him right there. Okay? And so once you know that's him, he's the one that said down the hill. He admitted pulling out a gun. He admitted being startled by a van. The timing of the van is in question, but it's there during the commission of the crime. It's just 20 minutes after he said he saw it. And so there you go. That's just another case. It's very similar to the Idaho 4, where it's just really simple for rational-minded people, but when you have defense attorneys that are feeding the minds of the conspiracy nut jobs out there, you end up having this crazy situation where, there's this huge contingent of people believing in all this weird stuff, just like in the Idaho 4 case, and they intentionally feed those people little nuggets from time to time. Yeah. Maybe I'll try to read that letter now, see what happens. But yeah, you guys, I really need you guys' support tonight. We're just not it's not working. I'm just looking for the document. Right here. Ricky Davis letter. And thanks, Joseph, for the coffee there. This is regarding the missed interview to the Delphi murders by Ron Logan in Indiana. Something, I don't know what it's saying. I'm sorry of the additional blocks of my continued effort of being able to speak of this. It has been a rough road of lighting against suspicious behavior of Carroll County getting ahead, reporting that I simply failed a polygraph. To many, that would sound of legitimate reasoning to disregard, and the DA accusing of his dishonesty with reckless regard. I mean, this guy, the writing looks pretty good, but he doesn't write well. I don't even know what the hell he's saying. With reckless regard of truth himself, and knowing my information will cause answers by the community demanded, in addition to integrity, with the trust of bringing forward this case towards Richard Allen. Jeez. Although I am the furthest from, although I am the furthest far of people who commit certain types of crimes, but to agree to allow a sex offender walk right out of prison on your watch with a promise that if you are elected into office, you would do so. I was told by Ron Logan in advance that Nicholas McClellan told a couple family members of Logan and members of Logan's and Ron Logan himself, if I am elected, I will let Ron out. I don't believe he committed that crime. Well, that's not why he was in. See, that's just garbage. McClellan wouldn't say that. You know why? Because Ron Logan was in prison for breaking his parole for 2 years. It has nothing to do with it. This is just sort of made up garbage right here. Doesn't even make any sense. McClellan, Ron Logan was not in prison because of the Delphi case. I mean, that's what led to him lying, and then he drove his car early in the day, and he didn't want that to be discovered, because if he drove, it broke his parole, and he got put back in prison for 2 years. So it doesn't make any sense. McClellan was referred as a longtime family friend and will have his back. Believe Ron was not joking either. Yeah. When the investigator was sent, I'm the one, treated and done something wrong. I was who requested to be placed on a polygraph. It was made all about my motion, media attention. It was not about, mobile. I'm a man who has kids myself and felt deeply for them, baby girls and families. I was asked to take the important, most significant facts, placing it into less than 2 paragraphs, be writing them on the paper seen on the news a couple months ago. So I asked if I'd been speaking to Ron Logan for months. How come I limit it within sentences and quote, I was just told to do the best I could. In return, I did. Before I remembered that, I was told that I could be charged with perjury and asked if I wrote truthfully. It was ambiguous to ask because the information Logan said truthful. Logan said truthful. That's just terrible English. The information Logan said truthful. I did not have such answer, but I knew no one would answer, just inform, just do the best I could. I wanted was to talk like men. I was so upset, I just offered to give me a recording device, and under full observation, they will have a recorded confession by Ron Logan. I was told, nah, Mr. Davies, it's okay. It isn't necessary, really. This cannot be denied by McClellan. So he said he wanted to record Ron Logan, but and then they said, nah, you don't need to do that. This cannot be denied by McClellan. DA has the entire setting was fully recorded by video. It is undisputed facts that he can make. Of course, he has made effort to silence my genuine efforts. It gets worse. While Richard Allen was about to go on trial, once again, I attempt to notify the 3 who were involved once more. Those are facts and evidence to lead them to, but he would not speak to me since it related to Logan. Not 1 letter, not 2 or 3, but 7 letters before he convicted an innocent man. I at first believe Richard Allen possibly had his hand in it. However, the same evidence that I previously reported, he taken the same for the jury, making the case against another man with a straight face. I realized then all I was told by Ron Logan was true after all, and I mean, how does that make you? I don't even see what he's doing there logically. He'd taken the same before. Let's see. I at first believed Richard Allen possibly had his hand in it. However, the same evidence that I previously reported, he'd taken the same before the jury, making the case against another man with a straight face. So what does that mean? So this means like another case, like his own case, so he's trying to claim. I mean, let me ask you something. So who convicted Ricky Davis? Is there any connection between the prosecutor and him, and is he trying to make it seem like, you know, his case was tainted too? That's kind of what this feels like right here. He taken the same before the jury, making the case against another man with a straight face. I realized then, so this is like he knew another case, and now he's saying, I realized then all I was told by Ron Logan was true after all, and secondly, Richard Allen was not a guilty man after all. This left 2 uncharged men, maybe, and now back to these uncharged again. McClellan knew this as family communicated that the letters were passed on to McClellan. After Richard Allen's conviction, McClellan got on TV live, receiving many pats on his back, and told the families of the girls and community he has not been aware of any other suspects, as that was the first question by the media. Well, they had suspects before, you know, a long time ago. I mean, obviously everybody knows that. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about now. I'm not asking to be believed. I'm asking for people to ask questions, follow the evidence, and let them victims have justice, as well as jury settle Richard Allen jury with all the facts, not distracted by a DA, maybe covering up cover-ups. This is what McClellan did, not want heard. Man, this guy, I mean, it's hard to even make out what this guy's even saying. My only question is, McClellan, can you sleep at night? But can you really? Can you really, though? P.S. Pray for them girls and families. Free the innocent. Seek the guilty. And stand for true justice for all, good and bad. I don't know. I couldn't even make out what he was saying in general. Sounds like he just, I don't even know what the context of the letter is, why he sent it, you know, what it's, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But hey, guys, we're currently at 1/8 of the goal currently, and even after I explain, like, hey, you guys, if we can get things rolling tonight, we're just still struggling. So Is this going to be, if this is one of those nights, it looks like people are doing other things. Maybe we can, I'm not really sure. I could, again, like my videos are doing pretty good, and I can, cut it short and start making some videos. Could have been a speechwriter for Kamala. No, he was too good for that. These house them in separate wing. Let's see. It's reading some comments. Anyways, that's the letter. I don't know what it's hard to even make out what the guy was saying in the letter. His writing looks pretty good. Looks like Declaration of Independence type stuff. But what he was saying was hard to understand. So what do you guys think about all this? I don't know what he's in jail for. I don't really care. I think I knew at one point, but I don't know. All right. Well, I think I'm going to get going, you guys. So I appreciate you guys showing up here. I put out that video earlier. If you want to go watch that, you can. Well, I did first want to bring up, there was one thing on the Idaho case I was going to bring up. It was the... there's a video. Remember, that video that we have of the... It's filming down the road, Linda Lane, and it's filming the car at 3:29 and 46 seconds or so. Here, I'll show. But man, what made tonight different than yesterday, or the day before, or the day before? It's just amazing. No rhyme or reason. Just is what it is. Right, well, I can see that I don't want to spend another 2 hours, Karen, when you can tell it's not going to. I'm trying to be honest with you guys. Why not just let me, if I want to get off early, just let me get off early instead of asking and complaining why. I can tell why I don't want to do, it's not cool. All right, what I was going to say was right here, this street right here is 3:29 and 46 seconds or so. There's that video of the car driving right there. And let's see. I gotta find it really quick. All right, well, you just said why, and you know the answer to the question. So, all right, let me just put this up right here. So I was looking at, I found it on YouTube. I was like, oh my God, they've got the whole thing. They've got the entire thing, man. They've got the whole night. I can see it. Look what time it is down here. It's 1:59, and then you go over here, and it's 6:38 in the morning. That's what it looks like. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that awesome? And so I was sitting there watching. I just couldn't wait because I was going to tie it all together. I was going to tie it all together, everybody. And then I was moving through here, trying to get to... All right, we've got 3:29. Here we go. Watch. You'll see the car drive by. Here it comes. In just a minute here, like 30 seconds from now. Yeah, I will be leaving here in a second, Daphne. Don't worry. Yeah, so here we go. 37, and then you see the car driving over here, right? See that? Right there, right? And there it is. Look at that. That's the 329.47. You see it driving by. And then now watch this though. Watch this. This is so ludicrous, and the people that put out have these videos are all Probergers. I know the people that have had these. So let's see, how far does it go? Oh yeah, watch this. It's so ridiculous. Ah, man, it's almost hard to. It actually skips the entire time. Here, let's just play this again until the message pops up. It's so ridiculous. It's 3:29 and 25 seconds. And you'll see it drive by, but then right around like 3:30 or so, it takes out all of the video. Yeah. I don't understand what happened tonight, though. It was just like dead. All right, right there, the 3:29 and 51 seconds. All right, see how it drove by? Now let's just watch the screen here. See the time at the bottom there? 3:29, 3:30. So just look at it. And I don't know what time it is when it shifts over, but just look at it. 3:30. And, you know, right now the car is probably driving almost right in front of, it's like probably at Queen and King Road. And then it's going to, you know, right now it's getting close to 500 Queen Road, driving back. Oh, there, it's already It's already shifted. Okay, look at it. See the time there? It shifted all the way out. And guess what? The only time missing from this entire surveillance footage is 3:30 to 4:06. The exact time that is absolutely relevant, where you would see the Elantra driving back this way and then coming back on various trips. And it makes it back into the area for the last time at 4:05. And then leaves on Walenta Drive. So this thing cuts out exactly the time that was important. And then in the comments, they go, yeah, don't make a conspiracy out of it. It's probably just a glitch. That's impossible. Okay? That's absolutely impossible that the camera glitched at exactly 3:30. And look, it says right there here at the bottom. Look what it says. The part from 3:30 to 4:05 are missing. That's exactly the part that matters. I mean, to the minute. You know, because 4:05 is when it does that last pass and it goes into the area, right? And then it goes back behind, turns around, then does a 3-point turn at Queen and King, then goes back there. And then at 4:07 it leaves but goes out the other direction, so you wouldn't see it on this camera. But this camera picks up all the other motions, so that means that these guys, when they're putting this stuff out, they don't want people to see the truth, the reality of it. I was so excited when I saw this. I was like, oh, wow, oh, here we go. And now we don't get to do it. That obviously exists out there. It's just not in... And what's weird is, what use does this have other than that? Like, who cares if there was a guy here at 1:30 sifting through a garbage can? It's irrelevant. Just, you know, these guys on, I don't know where they get them from, but they get them from the apartment managers or something, and they edit it out first. And all of the people that have the access to these surveillance camera footage are Probergers, you know. I see them typing and commenting, etc. So it's just really crazy that that's the way it is. All right, but anyways, thanks everybody. I appreciate you guys being here, and thank you to Moofies, Vicky White, Richard Watts, P. Gar, Denise Miller, Allie Cake, Cheryl Bullock, and Allie Cake, and then we had one coffee on there. So thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you later.